Welcome to Coffee and Chats with myself, Adam. And today I'm joined by another one of my clients, which is Mr. Mike Newton. So, in a second, we're going to get into it. But again, if anyone is watching, if you are watching this, please just put a hi in the comments. Let us know you're there. Also, if you've got any questions that you would like to ask Mike or myself about, his progress, how he's getting on, about a back in charge blueprint, please just pop in the comments and we'll be able to answer those whilst we are live on today. So, Mike, over to you. First of all, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. And so before we crack on, Mike, just tell us who you are, where you're from and what you do.
Okay, so I'm Mike and I'm 68, although that doesn't necessarily define me. I'm retired. I spent most of my life in financial services, banking, insurance, and having a couple of spills overseas, one in America, just under 2 years, one in Egypt for 4 years. So a little bit of an international background, but predominantly UK based.
Nice, thank you. So, Mike, we started talking. Well, you're currently in the back in charge blueprint, aren't you?
Yes,
and
very much so.
That's it. And we had a conversation. What was it? Must have been about 10 weeks ago, wasn't it? 8, 9, 10 weeks ago, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
So just if it's cool with you, just share what made you reach out. Why did we have a conversation?
Sure. Well, the conversation that I had before talking to you, Adam, was with the doctors at the hospital, and they said, Mr. Newton, you've got a little bit of cancer, and actually we're not going to do any operations just yet, but we'd like you to think about getting a bit healthier, drop a little bit of weight, because you're capable of having a very, very good recovery from an operation, having a very, very good life after that. And I look back at my experience of trying to lose weight, and I have to say, since about 35, when I was injured out of sports, I really haven't been doing very much. And people, my mother, when she was alive, oh, Mike, you're 6'3", you can carry that weight, there's no worries, enjoy. But actually, the doctors were saying, no, when we put you on the operating theatre, we're going to tip you not quite upside down, but at a big slant. And any junk you've got around the waist is going to start putting pressure on your lungs. And that's going to make it a little bit harder. And the less fit you are, then you're going to have real struggle in terms of recovery after the operation to get back to a good life. Now, if that doesn't motivate you, I'm not sure what will. And realizing I'd failed on so many occasions in the past, I reached out to you, and you got me back on the program. Yeah.
Here we are, right? Here we are. And that's the thing, having that conversation with the doctor, that must have been a bit of a bombshell, really. It's not really the conversation you want to have with your GP, is it?
No. It isn't, but one of the things you're right, and tears were shed. So, but one of the things that I think you decide is whether or not you're going to be the man with cancer, or whether or not you're not going to be defined by it. You're going to be defined by your life and your relationships and your family and what you do and how you continue to adventure. In terms of travel. So you have those two options, and I decided on the latter. So that's why, again,
that's why we're here, right? That's it. Now, I always remember, how were things? How was your general health and fitness and life like before you joined the Back in Charge Blueprint? Because I remember we had a conversation yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah.
And one of your wins, and I remember you telling me when we first spoke that is something that you really wanted to address, and you achieved it. So just tell me, what was the picture like? How was your general health like?
Yeah. Well, I think the term is sedentary, I believe that's how the doctors say it, but which means you do very, very, very little. I'd take the dog out for a walk and I'd throw the ball. That's different now, but I'd throw the ball, the dog would do the running, and we'd hightail it back home. But I think the point you're making is that I'm a Bath rugby season ticket holder, and we'd go out, group of us, have some dinner before the game, some lunch, depending what time the kickoff is, and then we'd walk briskly to the game. And I'm telling you, I was hanging. I was not enjoying that walk. I'm thinking, oh, it must be the shish to wok or the chicken shish or whatever it is I've had. It's probably weighing a bit heavy on the tummy. But the reality was, stopping and sort of pretending to look in a shop or pretending to admire the views of Bath. That wasn't the real reason. The real reason was clear. I was completely and utterly without fitness. And on last Friday, when Bath beat Bristol, by the way, I was in a lovely Mediterranean eating Turkish food, lovely time. And then we were a bit late because it was great hospitality by the hosts, and we had to yomp over to the ground and get in before the kickoff. And that's, I wasn't exactly leading the pack, but I was in there and I was not blowing. I was enjoying the fact that we got a bit of a leg on, and we got there and no problem at all. And I look back, the first 5 minutes of the game, I was thinking to myself, gosh, I couldn't have done that, 8-9 weeks ago. I just could not have done that. So, losing weight is good. Getting fitness, really good. And feeling a bit more flexible, nimble as you sort of jump in and out of the crowds and jump up and down on the paving stones. All of that is, I sort of experienced that on Friday last, and I was so pleased. And by the way, there's a lot more to it than that, but that was a very visible win for me.
That's it. Nice. That's the thing. A real life experience, isn't it?
It is.
Because everyone can just look at the scales, everyone can see the tape measurements, and that's great. Yeah. It's great to see your, the numbers decreasing. But it's like, like a lot of people get frustrated with me because I ask questions. Like when we first spoke, I asked you a lot of questions about, well, what is your life like at the current moment? Why are you feeling like this? Why are you feeling like that?
Yeah.
And a lot of guys I speak to, they actually get quite frustrated with me because I want to know this whole big picture about you.
Yeah.
And they just don't want to share. But for you, like, you were open, you were honest, and you told me how that this was going on, and and it was affecting you in this way. So great. Yeah. So then now look at it. You have now got that experience, that connection to like, well, I've lost the weight, but I've also increased my fitness, and it's real life.
Well, I think, Adam, yes, all of that. And I think actually I've tried losing weight in the past on numerous occasions, and everyone starts talking to you about the keto diet or the Weight Watchers plan or this or that or whatever. And actually no one ever asked me the questions that you asked. No one ever asked me to go away and complete work which drew me back to my core, and that's my mental core rather than my physical core, about what I value and what I care about and what my aspirations are. And when you've got that picture, then that's what you're aiming for. Yes, of course, you're going to lose weight. We can do that on diet, but we lose it so that actually I can continue living with those values, with that vision, with those relationships. And I thought, well, that's got to be worth a go. That's definitely worth a go.
Yeah, that's it. Now, when we first spoke, you had a little apprehension, didn't you? You was a little bit apprehensive before we started.
Well, you could say that, certainly. Yeah, I mean, you sort of, the world is full of spam and people trying to con you out of money and all of that. So there's a little bit of that in my mind, especially having worked in financial services and seeing how many people do it. And I've tried in the past, 30 years of trying to lose weight without success. And here you were coming along with this pot of gold, and I
And you
was
didn't even know
skeptical.
me from Adam.
Well, and I'm sort of pleased that you acknowledged that. You sort of said, well, this, we could do something, we can make something happen, and so we gave it a go, and I was happy to give it a go. And now, as you know, I'm talking to you about, okay, well, if I'm not going to get an operation in January or February, well, maybe I need to work with you to extend the work we're doing together, so that actually I can be bang up to the mark. Maybe some of my goals over a 5-month period could be more stretching than the ones that I've put in for 3 months.
Exactly. Now, just before we get on to we move on, what were the apprehensions? So the apprehension was you didn't really know me. Second one was where you've tried diets in the past, and what's different to this? What's the difference between the keto and Weight Watchers to the Back in Charge Blueprint?
Yeah, well, I think yes. The first thing is that we didn't just say your second line wasn't so this is what you need to give me. This actually the sort of conversation we had about you needing to know me and understand me. Your challenge that actually, Mike, in the first week, I don't say eat what you like, try and lay off the cream cakes, but actually I'm not going to give you a diet. I'm gonna look and see what you eat. I want to see how you eat it. I want to see what you eat, and actually we want to work out what is a sustainable diet. It's not something that you crash the calories with a view to, okay, as soon as I'm off the program, the weight goes up. It's about changing the way I live and the way I do things, and helping, or certainly one of the upshots of that is that it helps me now with my food choices. And we spoke about, my breakfast will never be the same, given the conversations that we've had and the results that we're having. So it was just a completely different approach. So that was refreshing. When I say I didn't know you from Adam, I think I probably had sort of seen you flash across social media from time to time.
Well, that's the thing as well. Is one of your colleagues that you worked with actually came through the Back in Charge Blueprint a year ago, hadn't he?
Yes, he had, and that was so reassuring for me that actually a real straight shooter, honest as the day is long bloke, was sitting there, someone I knew, who was talking about the program, talking about it in very positive terms, and that was very reassuring for me. But at the same time, I think I might have got there without Mark. I could have got there without that sort of endorsement. But hey, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it helps though, doesn't it? It always helps. It just puts you at rest to be like, well, if he's worked with him, then at least then I know that he's not just a charlatan.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you're not trying to whatever the words are now, but take the money out, take the money and run.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, nice. So one thing that I just heard, with what you were saying is that is very key is sustainable. Now everything, I just want to touch on that just briefly. Now, everything that we're currently doing is for the long term, isn't it?
Yes.
We're not just trying to get the weight off this operation, this potential operation. We're not doing that. We're not trying to see how much weight we can lose before Christmas. We're not trying to get you into, a set of Speedos for your holiday, that sort of stuff, are we? We're not trying to do that.
No.
Everything we're doing for the long term, isn't it?
Yes. It is life-changing is the point I would say, because it is for me about not just the now, not just the probable operation that will be coming in the new year now, or probably in the new year. But actually, it's about recovering from that, so getting myself in the very best shape I can to recover from that, and then it's about living. Then it's about my wife and I not having to buy huge seats on the aeroplane, and actually being able to travel slightly more cheaply. So all of that, and the quality of life. I have 3 children, lovely children, but none of them have given me a grandson or granddaughter. But actually, when hopefully one comes along, I do want to be rolling around the floor, being a good granddad, rather than someone who sits in the corner, and starting to smell. I don't want that.
Yeah, no, that's it. Oh, nice. Now, someone on Facebook, I'm not sure who it is, just put a comment in, saying that that's it. It's prescription based. We're not just telling you eat this for breakfast, eat this for lunch, eat this for that, do this exercise.
Yeah.
Everyone in the program all does different forms of exercise. Everyone eats different things for breakfast, lunch, dinner. Everyone's got different lives.
Yeah. Well, I think that's right. Just a small example, which I know when I first arrived on the program, you gave me, or you started to give me targets in terms of how much protein to eat. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, how on earth am I going to eat all of that protein? The butcher's bill is going to rock it.
Anyway, Mike, you're smashing that. We had to put your goal up, didn't we?
Well,
we put it up yesterday.
Yeah, penalised. I was penalised for success, I think. But actually, I left the sort of, am I having a 2-egg omelette? Am I having a 3-egg omelette? Am I having a 4-egg omelette? Am I having smoked salmon? Wouldn't that be nice? Tuna, or what sort of, that's for breakfast. I didn't do that. I actually like Greek yogurt. I really like Greek yogurt. And I can sprinkle that with whey protein. And depending on how much I sprinkle, I can get myself, almost to the daily requirement for protein. So, and that's important to me, because my wife, she has a different diet, and she might say, well, we'll have pasta tonight. If I was fixated on whacking in protein, I probably wouldn't be thinking that a pasta dish is the right thing to do. But because I've established a routine, which I am really happy with, which is sustainable, which is how I intend to eat breakfast, all right, with some variety, but in breakfast going forward, I now enjoy, and always have, but will now be able to eat the dishes that my wife requires or eats without feeling any guilt, without feeling, oh my gosh, I should be whacking in some turkey here or getting that chicken going. It's just a joy, and we worked that out. And I don't know if anyone else is using it, but my goodness, for me, it's brilliant.
Yeah, that's it.
And we'll do more. There's more, but I just give an example.
Yeah, that's it. And look at it. It's, again, like you're having pasta. You're still eating pasta.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. Whereas what is one of the first things that a lot of people do when they try to lose weight? They cut things out, don't they? Yeah. Whereas
things they like, things they've lived with for years and years and years. You don't have to do that. You just have to be a bit more thoughtful. I mean, cream cakes are probably a little bit extreme, every day, but you can still have cream cakes.
Exactly.
I still have a glass of wine. I still enjoy my wine on Fridays or Saturdays, not both. But I plan for it, and I can enjoy it.
Great. So, how far along are we? Are you in week 8? It is now, isn't it?
Yeah, just
week 8.
Just entered, yeah.
Week 8, just entered week 8. So come on in. How are you getting on, Mike? Give us some numbers. What is going on?
Okay, this is embarrassing because
why is it embarrassing?
Well, I started the program at 18:11. And I got on the scales today, 8 weeks on, or just under 8 weeks, but 8 weeks on, at 17.1. So I make that, is that 24? I think it's 24. I can't. I think so, 24 pounds. And that's good. So I'm pleased with that, because I know I've got another 4 weeks of the program, and you've switched me up, or I've volunteered to take on a little bit more, to see if we can really get to the target weight, which was 16.5, I think, 16.4, 16.5. But actually, what I know now is, even if I just miss that target weight by a pound or two, I know that the weeks beyond that, I know they're Christmas, but I actually know how to eat now. I'm learning how to eat and what to do. And I know that I can not fast, but, be a bit low, take on some low calorie diets, food, and I'll have a good Christmas.
That's it.
If you like, I'll save a little bit of the calories that
Yeah, that's the thing. You've learned, we've taught you how to do that, haven't we? We've taught you how you can still enjoy,
exactly.
you can go and have an indulgent meal, and that's perfectly fine. So, Mike, you've lost 24 pounds in 8 weeks.
Yes, that's right.
Now, I just want to go back, right? I just want to go back to something that you said a second ago.
Yeah.
And you were saying that we weren't doing crash diets.
Yeah.
But your weight has literally fallen off a cliff.
Yes. And
right?
and thank you.
No, but look at it. Right?
What else can I say?
No, but this is the thing, right?
Yeah.
It's not, you've still been eating pasta, you've still been drinking wine, you've still had a cream cake.
Yeah.
You haven't done anything extreme, like you said.
Absolutely.
But your weight has literally just dropped.
Yes, it has, and I know the focus is often on weight, but I want to say that physically, exercise wise, if you don't use it, you lose it, and I was very, very much in danger of losing it. And now, my dog looks at me every morning and he knows he's going to get a walk, so he's happy, and he's also much, much thinner than he was. And I know that I'm going to get out there and stomp my steps up and down fields, slipping around in the mud. But actually, do you know what? You don't go, oh gosh, it's raining, I've got to go out. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's raining. Well, wear the right clothes and wear Wellington boots, and get out there. And actually, it only takes about 50 yards. And you suddenly got the wind in your face, and so that's another win, by the way. Yes, my complexion's still pretty horrible, but it is a lot better than it was. My fitness is so much better, and I think I gave the example that I can do walks now which require me to vault stiles, get into fields and out of fields and all of that. So there's a flexibility coming into this as well. And all within 8 weeks. And, I just think that's fantastic. And that's why it isn't about a diet. It's about a lifestyle. It's about what you can do with your body. And, if there's a regret, it's that I didn't start earlier, that I required this shock of a medical diagnosis to crack on. And, yeah,
you can't think like that. Just remember that everything happens at the right time.
Well, that's
right?
true.
So that's it. Okay, so that's just remember that.
Yep.
And so come on in, like, how's your wife finding you being fitter and live? Come on, what's she saying?
Well, no, firstly, I was an early bird. In my now life, I wasn't an early bird, so she'd be getting up. But now, actually, we're sort of getting up. We're sitting down, breakfast. She's usually buzzing off to do some classes. That's sewing and quilting, and actually, it gives me the opportunity and to exercise, to go out and do the walks. And once she comes back, she's engaged. She wants to know, have I done my 10,000 steps? How many exercises have you done? You told Adam that you're now going to up it to 2 sessions a day, or which I think I sold her. And so I had you to keep me honest, and now I've got you and my wife keeping me honest.
We're
So I
tag
think
teaming. We're tag teaming.
yeah,
That's it.
but it's also about planning, it's about saying, well, actually, what are we going to do next year? Yeah, well, why don't we book that vacation? Why don't we, actually, let's have one in summer as well as one in winter, and let's do that. It's far more active.
Yeah, great. Wonderful. Honestly, it's so wonderful to hear because, yes, it's great to see the numbers, and that's the thing at the time, that's all people see is the numbers.
Mm.
But is that when you actually start to see your life changing, like that's the true result, and, it's just been great that, it's been great that you're in the Back in Charge blueprint, but also that you're getting these results so early on and you're seeing the results personally and, you can actually feel those results.
Well,
So,
that's
Mike,
what
well
you.
done.
Yeah, but that's what you promised me. Well, you didn't promise me. You said that if you do the work, this is what you'll get.
Yeah.
And unfailingly, every time you ask me to do something, or tell me to do something, or this would help, I do it. And there's no. I'm thinking to myself, well, why wouldn't I do it?
No,
I'm in the
that's it.
program. I've got something that's rather important, physically that needs to be sorted out. Why wouldn't I do it? And I think as you have that approach, you then realize that, you have a morning routine and you realize that's the routine you're going to adopt for the rest of your life, or, and I think that's so important because that's what drives you. That's what keeps you, keeps your mind focused on living right.
Nice. Wonderful. Wonderful. So, Mike, if anyone's watching this who's a little bit apprehensive, they see me on, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever,
Yeah.
and they're like, well, he can talk a good game. What would you say to people that are watching this that, that are intrigued about the Back in Charge blueprint? What would you say to anyone that's watching this?
Well, the first thing I'd say is that if they are apprehensive, I absolutely understand that. If they are concerned that you're a charlatan, I absolutely understand that. But actually, they need to send you an email and start talking to you. And, you can believe what is possible if you're prepared to put the work in. And if you're talking to Adam, I guess you've come to a stage in your life where actually nothing else has worked. So you need to do something different. And this is different. It is much more about lifestyle and nutrition. And the word diet is not really mentioned in my house anyway. We don't talk about diet. We talk about good nutrition and a good lifestyle. And that for me is my recommendation on you. I genuinely look forward to working with you for the next 4 weeks, and maybe we can work for a little bit longer as well, which I think is something you and I will discuss.
Yeah, we'll discuss that.
Yeah, you've got to do it though, and don't believe that you're going into a keto diet or whatever those meat diets are, caveman diets, and all of those sorts of things. Adam will sort you out. Adam will work with you to get your nutrition into your lifestyle. But just one more thing. When I used to get up in the morning, when I was working, I used to get up in the morning at some stupid time. I used to drag myself downstairs and probably slurp coffee, grab probably a couple of Marks and Spencer's sausage rolls or something like that to eat in the car on the way. And then you're working on into the evening. And you think to yourself, you reflect, how many hours was I giving to the great organization? How many hours was I working? And now you're thinking, well, actually, why didn't I just carve out an hour or longer for me?
Yeah.
I never, ever invested enough time in me. And now I have that time, or I can find the time by getting up earlier, by not watching so much TV, rubbish, and just being a bit more clever with my own personal time. This is something that can be fitted into your day. And if you want to take that opportunity, I'm not going to say I'm the, look at me, look at my results, but because there's more to come. There's more to come.
There is more to come, and I'm so excited to see it. Really, really am, Mike. So again, you're doing well, and again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join me on this live. So again, thank you very much. Cool.
All right.
So again, guys, if there's anyone that has got, has got any questions about the Back in Charge Blueprint, and they'd like to ask myself or Mike, please just pop a comment below, and we'll be able to answer it. And again, thank you for taking the time today, Mike. Really appreciate it, and I'll see